Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, our second annual Reagan Defense Forum, which was dubbed last year the Davos of Defense. And I think it's lived up to that title. It's doubled in size this year, and if it continues to grow at this rate, we think we're going to have to add another wing to the Reagan Library.
Last year I said we were on our way to becoming the most important national security forum in the country. Today, you're attending the most important national security forum in the country.
It's been the military capability of our country that has been directly related to our global leadership.
You know, one of the fundamental tenets of President Reagan was to grow the military and make sure that it was the strongest in the world. And he succeeded in doing that. But since then, there is a growing diversity in opinion among the Republican Party on the military and engagement in the world.
What is the biggest specific thing in the U.S. military right now that you have seen suffer from the spending cuts and the sequester?
How generationally has the issue of who we're recognizing as heroes changed from the World War II era, the Vietnam era to now?
A willful sense of self-sacrifice for somebody else. It's not forced, it's a willful sense of it.
The fact that someone would call me personally a hero seems inappropriate. Nothing I ever did I do alone. I followed what someone told me to do, and someone followed me, and we're not talking about them to talk about me as an individual, as a hero. I do not agree. I've served with heroes. We can be heroes. I am no hero.
From the Air Force perspective, they're trying to balance how they get the most capability with shrinking resources, and so the A-10, they believe, needs to be retired. If you're the guy on the ground that the A-10 has come and saved in Afghanistan, you're not so fond of that. So part of this are judgment calls that only Congress, looking at the whole, other than the very top levels of the Pentagon, can make.
It's very important that we don't lose our technological edge. We see our adversaries all around the world are spending more and more of their GDP on defense, on getting additional capabilities, and if we allow ourselves to gap at this time, you don't make it back. And it's critically important that we have that technological superiority and continue to invest.
By the way, in the military, everything that we do involves risk. There's no risk-free strategies.
What is, in your opinion, the significance of now our allies also having a fifth-gen capability?
What is our command and control architecture to fully leverage the kinetic and the non-kinetic capabilities of the F-35?
In each of the regions that we're seeing issues in today, in Europe, in the Middle East, and also in the Asia-Pacific region, in each of those areas, and the senior leaders I've been talking to, they all have one item that they come back to me. They're all saying the same thing. They're saying it in different languages, slightly different phrases. But what you're coming and telling me is the following, that a strong defense is a strong deterrence.
You have been a major proponent of what the Pentagon openly calls the Defense Clandestine Service. Tell us what that is, and in this environment, why you feel so strongly that it's useful and that it adds to what the Pentagon needs.
If President Reagan were here today, he would be talking about peace through strength, but he also might be thinking, there you go again. Measured against the backdrop of sequestration and all the other hotspots in the world, and after years of trying, how do we define success for our efforts in the Middle East?
I'd join many in this audience who would argue strongly against any perception of America in decline, based on our strengths in geography, economics, energy and other resources, creativity, demographics, diversity, higher education, and of course, military power. But our world remains a dynamic and very dangerous place.
Technology is going to remain an issue, and it's going to be a big issue in cyber for a long time, particularly as we think about the expanding areas of the threat profile. We need to make sure that we're embedding the protection into the platforms and capabilities that we're all delivering. And we also need to make sure that we're thinking several steps ahead to what it's really going to take to have resilient networks and platform capabilities, and to have things where we're not just constantly thinking about building the wall around everything that we create.
And I guess my first question, Admiral, is, does our nation have a real cyber strategy today?
we've got a great case study, a great example of how an industry-government partnership can deal with very firm requirements. You cannot hurt the space station, you can't harm the astronauts that are on board. You have to get this much capability up there. But all the stuff in between was traded, and it made for an enormously successful program, both for NASA as well as for the taxpayer.
Our long-term security will depend on whether we can address today's crises while also planning and preparing for tomorrow's threats.